Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the All Sports Betting Podcast, Cricket World Cup 2019. We're on to Monday's match between England and Pakistan now at Trent Bridge. So England were very convincing winners against South Africa in their first match of the tournament. Pakistan, meanwhile, took an absolute shellacking, didn't they, against the West Indies at the same ground here at Trent Bridge. So, also you've got to add that England hammered them in the one-day series recently here. They're 1-4 favourites. Are you expecting any surprises here, Kev, or is it going to be pretty much by the form book?
Yeah, I'm not expecting any surprises, Steve. Interestingly, the game here at Trent Bridge was actually the closest one of them four, wasn't it? But that's because England collapsed in the middle order. Butler was out for a duck. Morgan and Bairstow didn't play. England used that game to rest and rotate. Well, Morgan was suspended, wasn't he, for a dodgy overrate, but he wasn't going to be playing anyway. And it was Bairstow's turn to rest. They rested one in every game in that series, didn't they, with the exception of Root? And I think that's just because he never scored any until the last game. So, to answer your question, no, I don't see any slip-ups here, really. Both sides have performed how we thought they would going into the tournament in terms of Pakistan's bowling doesn't really look up to the mark. England's batting looks by far and away their strength, although to be fair to them, they bowled really well at the Oval, albeit against a pretty piss-poor South Africa batting lineup. So, yeah, I would imagine that the form of the ODI series is going to ring true here.
Yeah, let's start with Pakistan because I couldn't believe how poor they were with their batting approach against the West Indies. Yeah, give the West Indies some credit, but it was an absolute pack of cards, and it reminded me of days gone by. Pakistan, such an enigma team, that can be really, really shocking one day and really, really good the next. And back in the day, they would rebound with a performance when no one expects it of them. But do you think this team is capable of doing that, or is it going to be, their heads are so down that they could get rolled over easily again?
Well, I don't think it'll be quite the same here, because I refuse to believe that England can bowl a series of bouncers with the quality that the West Indies bowled at Pakistan. I mean, Jofra Archer can, obviously, Hashim Amla can testify to that, but the rest of them, Chris Woakes is more a pitch-it-up bowler, isn't he, to get any success. Maybe England will bring Mark Wood in for this game instead of Woakes to supply a little bit more chin music. But by and large, there's only three seamers, aren't they? So if Pakistan have got anything about them at all, they see them out and they feast on the spinners, don't they? And like I say, even then, England's bowlers, when they bowl short, it's not necessarily the pace, which everyone's been banging on about for England. Oh, we must have 90-mile-an-hour bowlers. Well, that's all well and good, but it's no point in bowling a 90-mile-an-hour bouncer that the umpire calls a wide, or, that's wide of the off stump that the batsman could sway out of. That was the good thing about them West Indies bouncers the other day. They were bang on the shoulders, bang in the ribs. They couldn't get out of the way of them. The only thing they could do was offer the gloves or the bat, and that's not how England bowl their bouncers. If anything, England's bouncers just stick in the pitch and scream "hit me." So I expect Pakistan to go an awful lot better here. However, you've got to think they're going to play cautiously, haven't you? You can't get rolled over for 105 and come out all guns blazing, swinging from the hip and everything else. So, yeah, I see a better performance from Pakistan. But if you're asking me, do I see the performance that we got from them in the ODI series where they were putting up 340s, 350s? Probably not, for two reasons, actually. What I just mentioned about them naturally going cautious. And also, they never played Asif Ali in the first game, did they? They played the extra, what would I call him? Solid batsman, perhaps, in Mohammad Hafiz. So they lack a bit of firepower as well, don't they? Genuine firepower. Maybe not batting depth, but genuine firepower. It's only really Fakhar Zaman, isn't it now, who's a genuine big hitter. The rest of them are all typical Asian players, really. Wristy, find the boundaries, but they do most of it on the floor.
Let's talk about the pitch at Trent Bridge, because obviously it's renowned for being a high-scoring ground, but it obviously wasn't the other day for some of the reasons that we mentioned already in this podcast. But were there any concerns for you, Kev, that the pitch didn't meet up to its usual standard of batting, or was it just Pakistan didn't play well enough?
Yeah, no, nothing wrong with the pitch, Steve. I mean, they got rolled over for 104 or so, didn't they, in 20 odd overs? So they're still going at 5 and over. So no, absolutely nothing wrong with the pitch. And what were West Indies going at? 7s, 8s and over. I think eight sixes, sorry, was there in about 30 overs of play. So, you know, nothing at all wrong with the pitch. Just every bouncer that the West Indies bowled was bang on the money and got exactly what they wanted from it. So, I mean, if England can do that, then fair play to them. They'll win this just as comfortably. But I haven't seen anything from this England bowling attack that suggests that they're that accurate with their bouncers.
All right, at the moment of going to recording this preview, you got 3 picks for the match, and the first one you went with this again, England against South Africa, England to win and to hit the most sixes. Well, they won that match, but they were out 6 by South Africa 4-3, which was somewhat of a surprise, I think, to most people. But you really think overall, I mean, England wins pretty much a banker, isn't it? It comes down to them hitting the most sixes. And against this Pakistan lineup, you fancy them to get the job done? Yeah,
well, we weren't particularly helped by Bairstow getting out first ball in that first game, were we? And it kind of rocked England for 10 overs, didn't it? I mean, Joe Root's not going to hit many sixes anyway, so you don't want him in second ball of the innings. So hopefully that won't happen here. But yeah, I mean, history's on our side here, Steve. I mean, if we go back to this recent one-day series, I mean, it's a perfect form guide, isn't it? You know, England won all 4 games in terms of the matches, 4-0 for the series. And if you go through the sixes, at Southampton they won 13-9, at Bristol they won 16-7. They actually lost the sixes match here, 8-7 at Trent Bridge. But as I mentioned, Morgan didn't play, Bairstow didn't play, Butler was out. Second ball, I think it was for a duck. So that's 3 batsmen really who faced 2 balls, who are all massive 6 hitters and who are all in good form for England. So I'm prepared to allow England that game. And also, Asif Ali hit a 6 in that match, and it doesn't look like he's going to play in this game. So I think England can turn the tables there. And then Headingley round the corner from you, England won 9-5 that day as well. So take out that Trent Bridge game, which is an anomaly because 2 key batsmen were missing. England dominated the sixes in that series. I expect them to dominate the sixes again here. Interestingly, Steve, they're playing on the pitch that England hit the world record score against Australia last year. 480 they made that day. Don't know how many they're going to make if they bat first on Monday, but they'll go well. This is a really good pitch, and it's nearer the side of that short boundary as well.
Yeah, I mean, I say effectively it should be a case of 10-11 on England just hitting the most sixes, really. But we've got them to get. We need them to win the match as well, which you would fully expect them to do. But one man you do believe will hit a 6 for Pakistan is Fakhar Zaman. You're going to back him to do just that at 888.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was shitloads of carnage the other day, wasn't there? But in amongst all that, he still managed to clear the ropes. So, you know, that said enough. He also hit a 6 in the ODI here, even though he only scored 57. He still managed a 6. In fact, I think he hit a 6 in the first over. That's how early he hit it. Like I say, on what day was it? Friday. They were more to the right of screen as you look from that new boundaries, that new stand side. This time they're going to be closer to that new stand, so the left-handers are going to be right in the spotlight. Pakistan might be cautious, but he won't be. That's not how he plays. So I expect him to go swinging from the hip. We said everything about this ground in all the podcasts we've covered so far, and he can find a boundary. Whether he finds it off the middle of the bat or off the top edge from someone like a Naja bouncer, I don't really care. But at 2.15 or 23-20 in old money, it's a massive price considering he's played twice on this ground this summer and he's hit a 6 in both games.
Yeah, hopefully Fakhar Zaman hits his 6 and then just fucks off, doesn't he? Regarding our sixes bet with England there. But okay, Fakhar Zaman to hit a 6. And your final pick at this point in time is Owen Morgan, topping batsman. And this doesn't surprise me, actually. I thought he looked very, very good the other day.
And before that, Steve, 71 not out down in Southampton against Pakistan, 76 at your place at Headingley. As I said, he didn't play here. And in the game at Bristol, he dropped himself down the order, didn't he, to allow batsmen who needed game time to come in and score. Stokes went up the order. Bairstow and Roy got off to an electric start. So, effectively in 3 innings in 50 over cricket in England this summer, he's got 3 50s. So that's decent enough. Really good record on this ground. I've mentioned God knows how many times about left-handers and that short boundary. He's a left-hander. You can pepper that short boundary. He contributed many sixes in that world record innings. I know Joss Butler's the one who gets all the plaudits for that, but it was Morgan who really kick-started that innings. So he likes playing here, as you would do as a batsman. If you don't like playing here, you don't like playing cricket. And he's England's captain. I expect a really big tournament from him throughout, and I see no reason why he's going to stop now. I think it's a decent price. We know he's going to bat at 4, don't we? So 11-2. Mohammed Amir did show odd signs that he could get one in the right place in that first game, didn't he? So if he can get 2 in the right place early doors, Morgan should be in with a score perfectly catchable. But even if someone's got away from him, it's not like he's not going to score quickly himself.
Will it be a case of England do their normal thing, win the toss and bowl first here, or might they be tempted to bat and rack up a really big one?
Oh no, we'll stick them in after the other day, won't we? See what we can roll them over for, and happy days.
Yeah. So, well, as I say, there might be some more bets from you for this game because the markets are yet to be put up and things like that. So keep an eye on Kev's website for any more picks for England versus Pakistan on Monday. But yeah, I think that pretty much is all we've got time for in this particular edition. But I mean, overall, should be pretty clean, easy sailing for England.
Yeah, I hope Pakistan put up a performance, Steve. Not to win or anything like that, but I hope they put up a performance just to make betting down the line on their matches a lot easier. If they get skittled again, then we're going to struggle for bets, aren't we, later down the line? But if they can find some confidence with the bat, just so that we can start attacking run lines and things like and sixes and things like that again, it'll be handy. Hopefully that's the case.
That's my concern with Pakistan here. I look at down the markets and there's some tempting lines, performances, whatnot, things like that. But if you get in a side that there's a risk of them generally getting bowled out for 150 or below, or even 200 and below, which is not a lot really in one-day cricket these days, it's hard, isn't it? Because if the side's chasing that, then you might only get 3 or 4 batsmen actually get out there in the middle. So it's tricky, isn't it? I must say, you've got to be a bit cautious, I think, with Pakistan after the other day. Sure, it can't be any worse, but
you want to put your faith in them, don't you? After what we saw in the ODI series, but just need a performance first, I think.
Yeah. All right, brilliant. Well, we'll be back for Tuesday's mouthwatering clash between South Sri Lanka and Afghanistan. So
the big one for us in so many ways.
It's a big one, is that massive one down the bottom. So, well, thanks very much for your thoughts, Kevin. We'll see you very soon.
Pleasure, mate. All the best.
Cheers.